Yeah, good on you. So, Devin, before we dive into the derby chat, let's start with how you became a Manchester United supporter and a big worldwide red. Because, mate, we met a fair few years ago now, and mate, we've been on a couple of pods together.
Yeah, it's crazy to me about that, but let me go backtrack now to this is probably 97, 98 time frame. Yeah, it'll be 98. So at the time I was not living in the US. I was actually living in Barbados. That's my heritage. That's where all my family is from originally. And at that time it was the World Cup. And so it was, if you remember, Jamaica was also in that World Cup. So it was the craze all across the Caribbean at the time. Because normally in the Caribbean, the main sport is cricket. This is back when the West Indies could actually be worth talking about. Not now. So it was okay. I like the sport. I like the energy around it. France was an amazing World Cup, so I wanted to continue following after the World Cup was over. I needed to find a team to support. So I kept on hearing about this fellow from nearby in Trinidad by the name of Dwight York, and lo and behold, he plays for Manchester United. Start looking more and more into it. I find out at the same time David Beckham is there, and I knew him because if I'm going to age myself now, then at the time the Spice Girls were the biggest thing on the planet. So it was like, oh, so we have the Caribbean connection and the Spice Girls connection, Manchester United, and then yeah, I know it's embarrassing looking back now, but
I feel so young right now.
yeah, it's what you want.
And then like a year or two later, then they win the treble, and I'm like, yeah, I knew I picked the right side, and I've been a fan ever since.
So what's it like over there, Devin in the States, man? Everyone getting together. You know, you always get the pre-season tours and everything like that. You look like you get good crowds over there. And like I've had a bit of involvement with the Houston Reds and stuff like that, and they all get into it. They all get to a bar and everything like that, and they make it a good time.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see the growth of Manchester United here, because like I can go back to, well, it would have been the equivalent of your secondary school, like my last day of secondary school. I could not have found anywhere to watch the Champions League final in 08. And so I ended up watching it at home and just seeing the growth. I think it has a lot to do with social media. Now you have the online streaming of the games where you can go into pubs and things like that. Because it would have been unheard of back in the day to go into a pub here, ask them to open up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning so we can get a whole crowd of people together to watch a match. And to see the growth of that right now has been absolutely amazing. I love it. The preseasons, we've been very fortunate to get a lot of the preseason tours over here a lot, which is that was unheard of to have them like back to back to back like this a few years ago. Before it was like maybe once every 5, 6 years you might see them. Mm-hmm. And I managed to get involved with running the USA Supporters Club. So it's, if you put like the hierarchy, I'm probably like the number 3 person in it. Now I am the social chair, I guess you say. So whenever media wants to do anything, they'll contact me. And because of that, I travel around the country as much as I can, trying to meet with all the different supporters clubs, trying to make sure we can network to do whatever I can to grow Manchester United fandom. And then lately, it's actually, I've been expanding internationally. So that's been pretty cool. From all the networking I've done from these tours, meeting very high people up there at Manchester United. So like, for example, this preseason tour, I was actually networking with the director of fan engagement for the club. And then from that, one of the things as soon as he heard Barbados said, we've been trying to get supporters clubs established in the Caribbean. I said, it's funny you say that because I know people were trying to get it done as well too. So next time we put them in contact, and then now the first supporters club in the Caribbean of Trinidad was just announced. And it was great to be there.
Congratulations. That's mad.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was just there as well about 2 weeks ago. So that was amazing to be there with that and to give them a little bit of my memorabilia as well too. Because another thing that I always remember is growing up there, it's like I always wish that we had more interaction down there with the club, could get some signed stuff, because it would have been unheard of for somebody, me in Barbados, to be able to get a piece of signed Manchester United memorabilia. So the least I could do was to go down there and hopefully make some of their dreams come true or inspire them as well.